Good morning, everybody. This morning I want to talk to you about aerators to help keep your bait alive. Some tips and some do's and don'ts. So I'm going to start with the more economical version. This right here is called the Baby Bubbles. It operates on two AA batteries. The life expectancy for those batteries, if it was to run nonstop, would be approximately 20 hours. I'm going to open this up and show you something a lot of people do not realize. It's a real cheap, easy fix solution. Okay, you're going to have this hose and this stone on here. This stone is very light. You also have this little twist tie. It's like a bread tie almost. You're going to have that with this. The first thing you want to do is you want to pull that cord, because it's coiled up. It's going to hold its memory, its shape. So you just kind of want to stretch it out a little bit so it starts to take more, like I guess you'd call it a linear form or something like that. It's going to straighten it out basically. So that's going to help. This aerator is real good for the little tiny bait buckets that usually retail for like $4 or $5, whatever. And they do a real good job sealing this up right here. You can see there's no moisture going to get in there. That's really good with this small version. And it has a clip right here. You clip onto the side of your bait bucket. You put your hose right here on this nipple, go through the hole on top of your bucket lid, and then you're set. The one thing you got to do with this little one is get yourself a little, I call them dipsy weights, or like a small little type bank sinker or whatever. Use that twist tie right here, attach it to here. That way your stone's going to stay at the bottom and your bubbles are going to go up. That's what's going to keep your bait alive. So the good thing about this is very affordable, economical way, but you need to keep that stone on the bottom because this is light. It's just the bubbles are just going to push it upward. So get yourself a little weight, use that twist tie, and that's your tip of the day on that model. So now we're going to move on to the next type, and these are pretty good. This is probably the most popular model. This is the Bubble Box. It's the B11 model, B-11, and its duration time is roughly around 44 hours if you're to run it nonstop on 2 D batteries. So I'm going to open this up, show you a couple good things about this and a couple bad things about this. All right, the first thing I'm going to show you, the bad thing about this box, it's a hinge door here and a hinge door here. There's a big gap right there. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to try and show you right there. That tends to allow a lot of moisture or condensation to get in there. And what happens is it tends to rust and corrode these contacts. So if you leave it out in the rain or whatever, these aren't going to last real long because these really need to be protected and treated. But if you do run into some of that problems, you can sand these contacts, get the rust off, the corrosion off, and it'll last a little bit longer. Like I said, I worked at the bait shop for 15 years, and I know this model inside and out. Some good tips. There's a rubber plunger right here. Sometimes all you got to do is just tap that little plunger, and it'll start activating again. I don't know why, but sometimes they tend to seize up a little bit. So here's another tip that most people do not know. This is how, I'm going to show you real quick. This is how it's going to be packaged. You open this up, pull this out. If you can see that, there's a little slit back there. That slit is for this clip. You're going to push this clip through that. Then there's a hole at the top. and you see that right where the nipples it would be. So now your hose, you can put that hose right through that hole, attach it, and this is your protective case. So if you're fishing like I was a couple weeks ago and it starts raining or whatever, this is going to keep and add, keep it from corrosion and quicker failure if you keep it protected in this packaging. A lot of people don't know that. All you have to do is unsnap it. It's a hinge lid. Unsnap it, press the button. So that's all you got to do for that one. So that's a good. Like I said, this is the most popular model, but these do not last as long. I'm going to show you a better way of doing it. Now with this, there's one more tip. I almost forgot. Here's the stone, and if you see that little teardrop shaped thing, that's soft lead. So when you have your stone attached to the hose, you're just going to slip that soft lead over, and it's going to rest on top of this stone. That's going to help keep the stone down with the weight on there. So that's good. A lot of people don't know what that soft lead thing is, and they just throw it away. But it helps keep the stone on the bottom for better aeration and longer life of your bait. Now I'm going to go on to another model. This is called Hush, try that again. Hush Bubbles. Longevity is 75 hours, and it works on 2 D batteries. So the one thing, I'll show you a real quick profile that makes these really good. It has a sealed gasket all the way around. Sealed gasket. You're not going to get any condensation or corrosion with this model. It's a little bit more, but it is well worth it. And then once again, you can also do what I told you in the other model. So that's that on those. So those are some of the models. There's another model between the B11 and the B16. It is the B14, I believe it is, and the B14, I think that one's called Quiet Bubbles. And I want to say the longevity of that one is 56 to 60 hours. And so that's that. So there's different ways to maintain your bait and your equipment a little bit longer. One more tip, I almost forgot to tell you something. This is one of the kits. You can buy just this lid with this B11 right here, and it's shrink wrapped on top. This is a good value. This is a real good lid because you can put your tools on there, your pliers, whatever you have, dip net, stuff like that on this. It's hinged, obviously, and I retail this whole kit with the dip net, the lid. There's 2 D batteries in the bottom, so this is a cash and carry item. But one of the bad things about when you're buying this, because it's shrink wrapped on here, you're not going to have the protective case to be used. So just keep that in mind. But this is a good idea, a good tip. These lids are really good. They snap on every type of 5-gallon bucket. They're real convenient to use. So that's something to think about. So that's your Tuesday tip of the day, and I hope everybody has a great day and a great week. And I'm going to bring another product review here real soon. So, these are aerators, and I believe the company is Frable. The parent company is Frable, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, I'll see you next time, folks. Always know your legal limits.